Hi everyone, it's Graham,
And Matt,
your Berkshire Forest sales experts with
Living South Realty. So through our website, berkshiremyrtlebeach.com, we received a question, and we've got a couple of them we're going to go over, but today we're going to go over one about the railroad tracks. So this one says, what do you know about the railroad tracks that cut through Bella Vita? So, we dug in a little bit and did a little bit of research. I mean, there's some history regarding these tracks. I mean, in fact, it dates back to what?
the 1900s. So, Myrtle Beach didn't become a city really until
Until the train tracks started running.
That's right.
And I think it was Burroughs, the Burroughs family, Burroughs and Collins. That was pre-Burroughs and Chapin. They had a timber/turpentine company in Conway, and they were the largest landholder in what used to be called Newtown, which is now Myrtle Beach. But what would happen is they would send the train into Myrtle Beach or Newtown and bring back, the lumber that they would cut from along the coast. But what happened, from what we gathered, most of the folks who were living in Conway up until the train, they had never even been to Myrtle Beach because it
was just hard to get to because you literally had to go through swamps and marshland and
you had to saddle up your horse, and it'd take a day and a half, 2 days to get
you'd hear stories from back at that time. I mean, these horses and stuff would get stuck in these places, so it just wasn't worth it to try to get to the beach in the early 1900s.
And so what happened, the locals started riding the train into Myrtle Beach with the workers. They'd go down there for the day, they'd hang out on the beach and then come back. And really that's how, early on, the Burroughs family knew that that Myrtle Beach would quickly become a tourist destination.
Correct, because back then, and for the longest time, Conway was the big city in the area. Myrtle Beach was not the city, Conway was.
That's exactly right. So eventually, even the people that lived in Myrtle Beach, they would go, when they did their shopping and everything, or big time shopping, they would come to the city of Conway.
That's right.
It's grown quite a bit. So anyways, so the tracks, they've actually been in continuous operation for quite a while. They just haven't recently been coming into the Carolina Forest area. In fact, we counted, there's 5 or 6 crossings from Wild Wing down to River Oaks.
That's correct.
Yep. Where hasn't been really operational on that stretch of the tracks for, 10 years or maybe more, 15 years. I remember them coming through Carolina Forest a little bit, but from what I understand, RJ Corman, who actually, I guess they own the tracks, but they have a new client that we don't know who it is. We're speculated a little bit. There's some speculation out there, some guesses that we have, but they have a new client that's in the River Oaks area. So
that's right. And to go back just a little bit, RJ Corman, they actually lease the tracks from the Waccamaw River down to the Intercoastal Waterway from Horry County.
That's exactly right.
So they lease it, and then a few years back, the county approved roughly $500,000 for improvements as long as RJ Corman would match that. And we both live here in the Carolina Forest area. I have seen them working on the train tracks. They have been back there doing something. I mean,
so apparently it was funded. So we're guessing that this new client will likely become a reality. But we've also been assured. Now, I don't know about assured, but we've also heard that if the train does come down into the River Oaks area, it's not going to be during high, high traffic times or high. But I don't know what that means. I mean, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I would think it would mean.
Yeah, who knows?
Not when we're going to work and school and coming back from work and school. So
exactly.
We'll see.
So we're not exactly sure who the new client would be, but if you think about it, the train tracks are used to move very heavy, whether it's lumber, rock, things that it would take a lot of trucks to move. So
Correct.
they're
And
very,
it's
very efficient.
it's an inexpensive way to move heavy stuff without having to put it on 501.
Right.
And I guess ultimately it'd be quicker and less expensive for them to do that.
So we have a couple guesses, right? There's a couple warehouses kind of down there, near the River Oaks area before Bob Evans. And again, it's not going to cross over the Intercoastal Waterway.
That is correct. That bridge is out of order. There's no plans for the train going anywhere past the Intercoastal Waterway. It's that bridge has been deemed
it's just not usable.
It's not usable.
Right.
So unsafe and all that.
And so from what we're guessing, it's either there's going to be an industrial site that's moving product out towards Conway and beyond, or it could have something to do with the FedEx, the new FedEx.
Correct. So we took it a step further. We're just brainstorming because we don't know who could this potential new client be. Well, there is a new building supply company that's in there down over by Wellspring Church and Bob Evans, and even behind the bowling alley there. Could be that. There are some along those tracks. There are some construction companies
That's
where they're supplying pipe in building
PVC products and
things like that. Then we thought of,
what about the new UPS, or I'm sorry, the new FedEx facility? And apparently FedEx does use the rail systems, and it's called piggybacking. So what they'll do is they'll put, they'll haul the truck trailers by rail. Don't know if that's going to be the case. It's just a guess, but the timing is kind of suspect.
And it makes sense because I was questioning. I mean, they're building this is a big investment right there in that old Waccamaw Pottery area. I mean, that's a big building, and this would make sense to me that they could use that, and it would prompt some of the county funds going to something like this to bring in this big facility.
Right. So I guess only time will tell, and maybe some of you all might know. So if you do, let us know in the comments, and keep the questions coming in. Again, it's BerkshireMyrtleBeach.com, or you can leave a question down below.
Yep. And just one last thought, Matt. For those at Berkshire, I really the one place where I see it could affect you is when you're going out that back way. Valenia Drive and Bella Vita, going out that exit is really the only area that I see it affecting. Maybe on River Oaks. If it
I don't think it's going to go past that. There's nothing really there, like where Bob Evans is. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I just don't know if maybe FedEx ties in back. Maybe they would.
Maybe they would. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
so be easier to loop around there, so maybe that is
correct. And there is some land that they could maybe lease or something or buy, but
and there were up until just maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that crossing right there by Bob Evans, it was a stop sign. There was actually a big push to get those yield signs, and so I guess if we see that go away and crossing the crossing come back up, we'll know.
But that's everything we got so far. If we hear anything more, we'll make sure and keep you updated.
It's a good life.
Living South.